So there are two camps of women when it comes to Mr. Benedict Bridgerton and his famous "Be My Mistress."
Be my mistress.
Some of you are like, no. No. Like, who the F does Benedict think he is, treating Sophie like that? And then there's the other one. Benedict is stuck. It's what society allows. It's the best thing he can offer. And then there's me, losing my mind trying to figure out which one is it. Until a light bulb. Benedict is you. Benedict is me. And I know it doesn't make sense because I have boobs, but have you ever tried to follow who you are, even go against whatever they want you to be, and then somehow find yourself still kind of doing whatever your mom wants you to do? No? Well, good for you, princess. The rest of us, yeah, we have some work to do. And we are going to look at Benedict Bridgerton, a man who spent his entire life rejecting the rules of society just to somehow end up following them all.
That is my name.
So, we can do better. Benedict Bridgerton is what you would call a free spirit, a rebel, the type that walks on his own path because he be different. Partying, sleeping in late.
Mother!
That is your mother.
Getting annoyed when he needs to show up for work because responsibilities. He might be just like you. The problem is that Benedict be in his 30s. So, there are certain expectations. It's time to get married. It's time to produce kids. It's time to carry on the family name.
Which requires you to be a gentleman and not a rake.
Language, mother.
Well, clearly his mama does not get it. Does she even know how tough it is out there? Dating is a struggle, especially when everyone is kind of, dumb.
They all have the same dream of marriage.
Yeah, according to Benedict, every single lady that is ready to put that ring on it is meh. There's no real zest for life. There's no personality. There is no spark. He's not really wrong though, right? I mean, who wants to get married to someone knowing they're probably marrying you just because of the money you have or your name or the status? Like, DiCaprio wasn't on the scene yet to role model what kind of perks money and name can buy. And that's not what he is looking for. He is focused on himself. He is focused on making sure that he lives life and basically is true to who he actually is.
Is not that the point? Should not that be enough for you?
Again, Benedict might be just like you. Now, if I take Benedict as an example of many who say, you know what, there is no point because there is literally no one worthy out there. Okay, everyone is or ugly or stupid or people are just weird. Like, what's the point? What's actually the point of believing all men are bad or all women just want to use you? So what? You're the only good one? Huh? You're the only specimen that is actually worthy something and you are just cursed to roam alone in the pool of stupidity. It's always easier to say there's no one out there for me than, actually keep on going out there and being vulnerable and keep on meeting people, learning about yourself, learning about others until you kind of find that connection that, aligns. Why did I do this? And that's what Benedict is giving me, right? He is different than everyone else. He is the special Twinkie that no one understands, and especially not the women of society because they're all just... And it's kind of like, really, Benny, really? Maybe you need to journal a little bit, huh? Now, Benedict is not only a person who is, annoyed with shallow people. He does have that goodness in him. Like, he does care about people, especially if you're an underdog. If you are struggling, if you are just a simple man who wants to make a living and maybe has a little bit of a problem with fixing the fence, there is no reason why Benedict is not gonna sign off that loan. Because Benedict relates, okay? Not with, milking the cows, but he can relate with those who are overlooked. And honestly, it's kind of frustrating how his mama is pushing him to get married. Like, why now? Why is now this suddenly the thing that he needs to do? No one cared about him before.
Anthony is the Viscount. I'm merely a second son.
He is a second son, not the firstborn. So the fact that she is now paying all this attention of what he is doing with his life, it's making him feel uncomfortable, okay? It is not a safe space right now. Well, tough titty, Benny. Doesn't matter what you do with your life, it matters how it impacts the rest of the family. And he, as an older brother, still has 2 sisters that need to get that. What are they after? Security, worth, place in the society, you name it. And he has a responsibility. He simply must join the masquerade ball his mom is organizing. And Benny already knows how this is going to go down. It's just another opportunity where everyone is going to flock to him because he is a Bridgerton. So he needs to mentally prepare for the situation. A little escape, maybe a little meditation. Or, the second best option, alcohol and sex.
I do not need you for a long time.
And you know what they say? A body full of gin, the night will get wild. No one says that. But maybe for Benedict, someone who is trapped between who he is and who he is expected to be, the night of hallucinations will be just the right thing to find the perfect solution. And Biz, there she is, in the middle of the ballroom. She is not desperately waiting for a bachelor to approach her. She is not mesmerized by men in tights. She is taken by a chandelier. Now, luckily, Masquerade was not part of the whistle down, so, this was not a gold digger. This was someone who was impressed by something everyone else took for granted. And Benny likey. Especially when he sees that even when a man approaches this mysterious lady, she hides her dancing card just to avoid dancing with him. We're like, what is happening? A woman that is rejecting a man and not trying to convince him that her uterus is healthy? A miracle he's been waiting for. It's like Benedict forgets that he also has a sister who is not interested in marriage and wants more from life. And maybe that's... No, this was after the time of the dragons. Look, Benedict came to this party knowing that this is gonna be shite, okay? Even the first conversation didn't start well because it was all about the status.
You are number 2. Yes.
That is my name.
So he is a little bit desperate to make it a bit more interesting. And what is more interesting than someone new on the scene? Someone that can, spark a little bit more life in this annoying masquerade ball. He simply found his muse. And this new specimen is different. Like, first of all, she is totally committed to having fun. She doesn't know how to dance, let's play a role. She also doesn't know who he is, and she herself doesn't feel like she fits in.
Cannot help but feel a little out of place at a society function.
Now, maybe it's the desperate need for not being the only one different, or maybe it's the alcohol, but Benedict recognizes that this lady is not like all the others.
You're not like the other young ladies, It is a relief.
Oh yeah, Benedict has game. There is nothing like receiving a compliment by putting other people down. Like, my mom also told me I am better than everyone else. So thank you for seeing that. Yeah, no, this pickup line, not working. Benedict needs to lay off on the how to get a girl video. Or she calls him on his self-centeredness.
They are...
Constantly pursuing you.
Does he think he's the only one who feels unseen? The only one who needs to perform and be someone the society requires him to be? These women that he is dismissing are basically doing the same thing he is. They are playing a role or performing a role that they didn't really choose.
All in the hope that you might simply notice them.
Benny boy, we are all screwed by the system. Wink, wink. And yes, there's a difference between poor me, everyone wants me just because I can provide, and poor me, my value depends, or my livelihood depends on being chosen, but details. And you might expect that Benedict would take a step back and look at this situation and be like, a woman, this is inappropriate. But no, he has a new perspective for all the other bitches suffering.
While your point is well taken, I cannot help but feel that their pursuit has very little to do with me.
The more they chat, the more Benedict is feeling comfortable. Now, maybe it's because she's not looking for a husband, so that pressure is off. She didn't even know who he is. Clearly, she's not scheming to get him. And she is here just to enjoy herself.
I too feel like an imposter.
Or maybe it's because he's drunk, Alcohol has its ways of making you open up and share. Sometimes overshare, but that's in the past. We are better people today. He shares that he himself is feeling like an imposter, and maybe that's why he likes to, keep it surface level. Maybe he likes to avoid things and not really go deep into anything because it's easier. And what he might not know is that it's also safe. Opening to Lady in Silver is also safe. He opened up because she showed him that there is no risk of being judged. And again, maybe it's the feeling of being seen. Maybe it's destiny, or maybe it's alcohol, but he cannot get enough of Lady in Silver.
You are perhaps the most intriguing person I've ever met.
He is pulled in by her lips, but he knows it wouldn't be appropriate. So he takes off her glove and kisses her hand. Midnight strikes, and before she runs away, because, drama, she turns back and she kisses him passionately. And then she's off into the night. Benedict is confused. He is looking around. Is there a glass slipper I should find? He runs after her, but he be a little slow because, maybe the alcohol. He is too late. She disappeared into the night. The ball has ended. He is sitting at the staircase looking at this glove, and he's kind of sad that he couldn't get her name. He couldn't figure anything about her, but at least he has a new appreciation for everyone else in this community, in the society, the ladies that flock to him.
I can now respect what they were all up against.
The muse did what her role was. She served to make a man be better. The thing is that Benedict can't really let her go. I mean, how can he let go of the perfect solution for someone who's stuck between the I don't want to play this game and also, well, what the F am I supposed to do? Being with her would mean that he gets to be himself and he can satisfy the expectations. And the chase starts. Benedict is drawing the mystery Lady in Silver. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't forget. How did she look like? Her lips, her eyes. He gets himself a sidekick, his sister, that can help him. He even goes to Lady Whistledown to put a little tip, a little call to action.
Say that I am looking for someone.
Tell the world the second son of Bridgerton is looking for someone. And yes, he understands that this might, open a floodgate of mamas, but it doesn't matter. It's the risk he is willing to take. And the floods open because every single woman ready to procreate is hoping to be chosen and become a part of the Bridgerton family. And while most of them are hoping they will be good enough, there are those who know their value and honestly are gonna give him the grace of their presence.
He's the catch of the season. He deserves to be with me.
And then there are those who are looking at this whole situation and they be confused.
Is it not foolish for so many young ladies to flock to just one gentleman?
Benedict is on a mission. He is going to every social gathering. He is talking with women. This was the last thing he wanted to do because, they stupid. That's just the cost of finding the one. He is examining every woman's lips, trying to find something that will match. But unfortunately, no lips are the same. Because Benedict, he might have gotten some new perspective from the Lady in Silver, but in reality, he didn't really change anything about his pursuit. He is not trying to be vulnerable and open himself up to other people to really see if he can connect with someone else. He is going for a specific person. The person who already saw him and was like, well, damn, you are not bad. And it's kind of like an interesting, I'd say, reflection almost of how people are also dating today. When you say you want a true connection and a true partnership, but then how you are actually approaching dating is not to get to know people, to talk to them, to learn about them, and then see how do you fit or not fit. It's more like you already decided what you want and now you're just doing a checkoff, right? I wonder also if the reason why we do this is because we are actually staying safe and comfortable. Because if I already know what kind of person is the right person for me, then I don't have to risk to maybe connect with someone that would surprise me, right? That would actually be a perfect match. Maybe what you want is someone to fit your life without you needing to change anything. And I don't think that's really a reality of building a relationship and partnership, because by default, because you are two individual people, there will have to be some kind of growth and change from both sides. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I want to throw out there another theory why Benedict is so obsessed with finding the lady in silver, a woman he doesn't even know anything really about and was wearing a mask, right? A one-night stand, one might say. Maybe, deep down, Benedict is seeking approval from the thing that he is rejecting. You know, like when you are, let's say, maybe you are a nerd at school, right? And then you hate the cool kids. You hate the popular kids. But if those popular kids actually paid you attention and treated you as equal, you would be like, or let's say you are someone who would never date a player. Or you can see through them immediately. You would not even allow yourself. And then a player gives you attention and then you're like, oh, my uterus is yours. The lady in silver being a part of the society and the system and actually accepting him would almost be like the society is also accepting him. The thing that he always felt like is not really seeing him finally sees him. Maybe I'm reaching. Okay, I get it. I don't have any chocolate today here, so I might be spiraling. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Why is he so drawn to the lady in silver? To me, Benedict is almost like one of us. He is chasing approval instead of love. And when he is unable to find the lady in silver, where she is not presenting herself, right? Benedict is not looking at the situation and being like, you know what? Maybe she is dealing with some stuff, right? You know what? Maybe she's not even from this place, right? Maybe she is already on her way to, I don't know where. He does what many of us would do. I am just not good enough. Who would want to give their heart to someone like Bridgerton, the second son?
The rake, the free spirit.
I guess the real him is again simply not good enough. And you know what you do when you feel like you've been rejecting because you are a player? Well, you go back to being a player. Of course, it's not about, learning from this and maybe doing better for myself. It's about people believing that I am more than this just because you should. And here's the moment when I was like, oh my God, Benny is me. He is someone who maybe from a young age experienced that it doesn't really matter who he is, what he likes, what are his interests or things like that. Because what matters is how you should behave and how you should be and how you should maybe fulfill your parents' dreams, especially as an immigrant child, you have a responsibility to do better in life because that's why they birthed you. So I'm going to journal later, don't worry. But at the same time, you kind of don't want to follow that and you want to go in a different way. But because you have this, dilemma between trusting who you are because you were always told that that was not enough and then don't want to listen to that, want to do something different, you kind of don't do anything. Benedict doesn't really do anything with his life. He is just avoiding it. He distracts himself with interesting things out of the box, almost like self-sabotaging, because as much as you want to be true to yourself, you also don't really know how to let go of that conditioning that honestly keeps you safe, right? Are you gonna really try and do it differently? Now, at this point, some time has passed. We don't really know, but according to the grapevine, it's been months, okay? And Benedict is at a countryside at a party. And he goes out to take a little bit of a fresh air and he hears a commotion. A maid is being attacked by the man of the estate. And he wastes no time helping her.
He's only a maid! A poor apologize, sir!
He would expect that the maid would be like, thank you, my lord, but this little maid is pissed at him. She is mad at him for helping her. Like, what do you mean? I was just the hero and I saved you.
You lost me my position, the very thing I need to survive.
Benedict is a bit confused. Like, what do you mean you worry about the job and making money? Like, money grows on trees. But again, Benedict be a good man, so he offers to help her with finding a job when they get back to the city. He has connections, so not to worry. So they giddy up on the carriage and they are off to the city. He tries to make some small talk, but he doesn't get much further than learning that her name is Sophie, because this maid, not cooperative. And Benedict be the type of person that gets a little bit uncomfortable when there is this silence. You know, when you go out and you sit with a bunch of people and you're the only one who is actually driving the conversation, and then you get hit with the, well, it's not my fault that you are uncomfortable with the silence. Really, Biss? Why are we here? Why are we hanging? And yes, I am projecting. But the gods are brewing their stew.
It's going to rain.
It is, Doc. That was mist.
And that?
A collection of mist.
And, Benedict Bridgerton also. He has a mansion right off the road. It is called My Cottage. Rich people trying to be relatable, am I right? It's sad. There is a tiny teeny problem though, because no one is home. And Benedict is not used to this. Like, what do you mean? From my understanding, the deal is that I live my life and whenever I need something, other people just wait on me. So, and it's even more ridiculous when Sophie, the maid he just met, asked him for a key. Like, what do you mean key? I have servants, you idiot. Sophie might not be his maid, but she is a maid. So she comes to the rescue.
How did you...
I climbed through the window. Servants are resourceful.
Not to worry though, Benedict might have made a fool of himself for not being able to get into his own house. But if there's one thing he knows how to do is fire. Because, he's a man.
Does not take a genius. Wood, meet flame.
Yeah, it doesn't work, so Sophie comes to the rescue again. The dynamic is clear. He thinks he knows how things work and she shows him how he doesn't. You might call it rich people be rich or weaponized incompetence.
I see.
Don't get it twisted though. Benedict wasn't just helping Sophie in order to then secretly recruit her so she would work for him. He actually does not want her to be a maid at this mansion. She is a guest and she will be treated like one.
And you are welcome to wear anything in the wardrobe.
Also because the man needs to get away because, that fight that he just had to save her. Well, he got injured and it's bad. He gets to bed and the night just turns blurry. He is screaming in pain. He is hallucinating and he is seeing someone helping him. But he can't really understand who is it. Is it Sophie, the maid he just met? Or is it the lady in silver? It's the next morning and Crabtrees come back, the live-in staff. And we can see what kind of joy do you experience where people just serve you. Because Benedict be acting like a man baby. Of course, all in the name of being cute and charming. Honestly though, wouldn't you be gleeing ear to ear if someone would just serve you all your life? Oh, best believe I'd be tapping into that child within. They stay at his place for the next couple of days because he needs to recover. And it's clear that Benedict feels very free. There's no expectations, there's no pressures from the society, from his mama, and he can just be himself. Now, on the flip side, it's easy to be free and joyful and everything when there is no responsibility or the pressure, and you just have people serving you. So let's calm down. But basically, they're trying to show us how Benedict is actually being himself without the need to be intoxicated. And also this time, he starts to be intrigued by a different woman. He cannot help but find Sophie cute. The way she's trying to behave properly when she's eating breakfast, like she has to, or the way she doesn't really know how to walk in a lady's dress. The way she feels out of place, it's kind of fun and cute and endearing. She gives him what he's been desperately trying to escape from for a long time. Being a fraud. The one thing that Benedict is really passionate about and actually good at is art. But when he found out that the only reason he got into the art school was because of, the status and the family he's coming from, he started to believe that all of that was fake, that he was not actually good, he just had the right name. But when Sophie correctly recognizes what his paintings mean, well, I guess he did something right.
That was my intention.
And sure, maybe he got in because of the name, but that doesn't mean that his work is not valuable. And also, Sophie, similar to maybe the appeal of the lady in silver, also helped him be a better version of himself. Because when he thinks that his French is good, Sophie needs to correct it. Okay, he needs to work on his job. And for someone who's been his whole life around people who filter everything through his name, it's kind of refreshing when someone just tells him the truth, not because of who he is, not to challenge him, but just because that's who she is. And she's not afraid to show it. Honestly, Sophie and Benedict be vibing. There are some feels going on. And the reason is probably quite simple, right? The first thing is, well, that they connect on the same things, right? The painting or the art, the literature, the language, but also they kind of share the same experience, even though they don't really know it. The same way Benedict is not really fitting his role as a Bridgerton is the same way Sophie is not fitting her role as a maid with all this education that she has for that time. Okay, today, if you're a maid, it doesn't automatically mean you're not educated. So I just want to put that out there. It would be easy, though, to say that Benedict maybe is falling for Sophie because of how she makes him feel seen. And that could be tricky. Is it about her or is it about how you feel about the situation? But that doesn't mean that there is not truth in falling for someone because of how they see you and that actually being okay. A good, healthy relationship is, a mix of how do you vibe together? How do you click? How naturally that feels, and then also how that person sees you, appreciates you, values you, and then you give that the same to them. And while the lady in silver intrigued Benedict with her joyfulness, Sophie is the one who sparks that joy within himself.
Whoa! I've forgotten how much I enjoyed this.
And when he feels the joy of just running around in the garden, playing with this kite, he wants Sophie to experience the same.
Go on, you have to run with it. Keep going! Go!
And isn't that also love? When it's not just about you being joyful and experiencing joy, but wanting the other person to feel the same. And for a moment, no one is performing anything. Both Sophie and Benedict are just two people having fun, running around in the field. And you know how it goes. A naked man swimming in the lake gets out of it all wet. A woman hiding behind the tree looking at him. Also wet. They cannot resist the pool that is bringing them together until they kiss. But Benedict takes a step back.
I apologise. I should not have...
No,
Sophie herself is a little bit awkward. Yeah, we shouldn't. So they try to play it cool, but they get a little bit clumsy and, romance. Benedict, though, is in his feels. He feels happy. He likes Sophie. But as much as he might feel like this is real, that this is love, the reality never escapes him.
But her station does not allow her a choice in the matter, does it?
He might see Sophie as a friend, as an equal, but that's not the luxury Sophie has. The same way as he was hit with his art not being valuable or real just because of his family name, it's the same thing he is experiencing now with Sophie. Maybe her feelings cannot be real just because he has a certain name. There is a power dynamic that impacts how Sophie sees him in the first place, which makes him think about the lady in silver again. Someone who is a noble as he is, and someone who already showed that she is not fazed by his status, or she's not just trying to please him, but she's simply just trying to live her own life. Someone who liked him for him, and maybe he shouldn't give up on so easily.
You owe it to yourself to dedicate to something.
You know how sometimes you think you are doing the right thing, you think you are different, but when you actually peel off the layers, you're kind of doing the same thing? You are judgy the same way you are accusing others to be a little bit too judgmental. Benedict, despite being against the society and the labels and the status, is actually following the same rules. The Lady in Silver, even though she is a fantasy, even though so much time has passed, even though he doesn't really remember her really, she feels more real or more right because of the status she has. While Sophie, the real person, the real connection that happened right now and was lasting for a couple of days, oh my God, we're still talking about days here, but different times, that love isn't real because of the status. He starts drawing again, and it's Lady in Silver, the last thing he was drawing before he went back to partying and avoiding everything and, draining himself in sorrow of no one accepting him for who he is. Even Sophie is happy seeing him drawing again. Though Benedict is looking at Sophie with a little bit of a different perspective right now. And maybe he's testing her a little bit. He tells her that he got an okay to return back to London. And maybe a part of him expected that Sophie would drop on her knees and start crying and saying, "No, I don't want to go back. Why don't we just stay here and have fun?" Sophie herself shares that she's been thinking the same thing. It's time for her to go back and find a job.
Oh.
So she didn't try to trap me with a baby here. The whole vibe is two people who like each other, but they also know that they kind of need to go back to their normal life in a way, but maybe also waiting for the other person to do that step, or maybe not do that step. Yeah, that's the vibe. Benedict wants to apologize to Sophie again. It wasn't correct what he did, kissing her, and he regrets it.
You need not apologize. As soon as we are on the road, we need not speak of it or this episode ever again.
And again, Benedict is confused because why is she mad? Like, am I doing the right thing? Like, what is happening? He tries to focus back on his drawing, but honestly, he can't. Like, this whole situation is confusing. On one side, he has the option of finding someone who would be the perfect solution, but at the same time, it's a fantasy. And on the other side, he has someone who genuinely connected in real life. And for some time, days have been passing. And yet he can't trust that that's actually real because of the name he has and the power imbalance that is in place. Side note, almost every freaking scene ends with Benedict being left behind as Sophie walks away and he's thinking, or his mom walks away and he's thinking, or the bird walks away, that's not sounding right, and he's thinking. They giddy up on the carriage again and they go back to the city. And Benedict takes one last look back to his cottage, leaving the place where everything was just easier.
I assume you have a route to London you wish to offer?
It would not be my place.
Benedict doesn't say anything back because he knows that this is the reality. It's how it goes, right? It's back to him being the lead and she just following. Honestly, Benedict is tired of the expectations of patriarchy. Okay. Like, let the man rest a little bit. They get back to the city and Benedict does the right thing. He keeps his word and he finds Sophie a job. The problem is that he was a little bit unsuccessful at finding her a job at some other house because no one seems to want to hire Sophie. There are some rumors going around. So the solution is to work for his mother. Yay!
Your new job is where I live.
And yeah, it could be a little bit weird, like how come you are hiring her when no one else wants to? But at the same time, Benedict knows Sophie. Like, he spent some time with her and he knows that she is a good person.
I know you.
And he also knows his mother, so it'll be fine. So Sophie goes to work for his mother and he goes back to his responsibilities, finding the one that got away. And with the little help of Mama, he is trying to recognize someone from all the pictures of all the debutantes of society. Maybe one of them is the lady in silver that he honestly doesn't even remember that much anymore. The thing is, he can't really get Sophie out of his head, and the fact that they keep on bumping into each other in this freaking house, well, it's not really helpful, okay?
Excuse me. Excuse me. We might be here all night.
They're both pretending they're fine when they're clearly not fine. One night, as he is passing another room in the house, he sees Sophie looking through the window. She's observing the stars and he cannot help but join her. She tells him she is missing the time they had at the countryside. And Benedict agrees. Things back home, back in Mayfair, seem a little bit more dimmed.
Please do not go. I do not want you to.
Because I guess it's the 6-month trial period before she gets the permanent job. Benedict is looking at Sophie. He is vulnerable. He is desperate. He is going through the fields.
You deserve more.
Sophie wishes him a good night, and Benedict is again left behind, contemplating. The man has thoughts. But what's that? A miracle? A fairy godmother this time for the prince? It's the lady in silver. Potentially. And you know what they say about dating a potential. His mother found the latest possible lady in silver, and it is Lady Hollands. Now, Lady Hollands is everything Benedict would want in a woman. She is smart, educated, she is witty. She is honestly a good catch. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching it and I was like, Biz, is Benedict gonna fall in love with her now? Like, what about Sophie?
Surely you were here for the Masquerade Ball.
Sadly, I fell ill and could not.
Wrong. Yeah, it's not her because, spoiler, she wasn't actually at the ball. So you could actually be someone Benedict could find a good connection with, but at the same time, if you're not the fantasy he is looking for, the question becomes, what the F is Benedict actually after? Maybe this time Benedict doesn't want to find the lady in silver because his heart wants something else. Heart wants what it wants. Da, 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 da. But that's not all, because when Lady Hollands compliments his French and she's like, well, whoever told you that it's not good is a fool, Benedict is like, no, shut it down. Like, what do you mean? You are going after my true love? Sophie corrected him because that's what real people do. She actually wanted him to be better, not just tell him he's better. Though in real life, just between the two of us, if you always get defensive when someone is complimenting you because that's not real, maybe you need to do some journaling and figure out if there's any layer of you that is feeling not good enough and doesn't want to believe that you are also good. Okay? So don't just go after people who keep you down in the name of getting you better. That's not Sophie though, but just so you know. And when Sophie enters with tea, Benedict can't help but notice her and smile. But then it kind of flips because he does not really feel comfortable with the situation. Like, what do you mean I am here talking with someone who could be my potential bride and looking for the lady in silver, right? And Sophie is the one serving us tea? He gets all jittery and nervous and he doesn't know how to act until he just flips.
Oh, damn it!
The guests leave and it's only him and Sophie. He tries to apologize, but instead of Sophie, understanding him and being like, you know what, I get it, it's difficult also for me, Sophie is mad. She herself feels played by Benedict. One minute he is telling her she deserves more and this and that, and then the next minute he is looking for another person, someone who is more of nobility. He's keeping her stuck and confused.
This is the very best position I've ever had, and you are ruining it.
Benedict doesn't feel okay. It hurts seeing Sophie hurt so much, and he doesn't want to be the reason why she can't have a better life.
I will go then.
He decides to leave, but before that, he has a little chat with his mama. And you know what they say, moms will sometimes be right, okay? unfortunately.
Reality is where love grows. Reality feeds your heart.
He realizes that going after or chasing Lady in Silver was just another fantasy. Another thing that would make it easy. He is drawing again, but this time it's Sophie, and it's more clear than ever. She's the one who he loves. She's the one he wants to be with, and he'll do anything to be with her.
Be my mistress.
Yeah, when you are rebelling against things, but still staying safe in the rules that they defined or the society defines, you're gonna find a solution inside those rules again. And he thinks he's brave, right? He thinks like, I'm doing something.
I meant it when I said you deserve better. And I'm determined to get
And I get it. We can also look at it having a bit more understanding for Benedict. I myself looked at it like that at the beginning, the first time I was watching. Like, what is he supposed to do? Also, his friends and everyone around him kind of gives him this solution, right? We all need to marry because of the name, because of the status, but at the same time, you can still find a way of how to be with the woman you actually love.
Half the men in here keep mistresses.
But then you need to ask yourself, Benedict is the one in power, and what he is risking is potential judgment of society, doing what's not right. But what Sophie is risking is literally her survival. Does it make sense to have understanding for him? He never stops and asks, what does she want? What does it deserve more mean for her? Like, Benedict is all about helping those in need and being nice to maids and this and that. But when it actually requires him to risk his position in society, then it's kind of like, let's calm down now. Okay, let's relax. How would it ever change if the people at the top are not going to change, when it's very difficult for the people on the bottom to actually make a change? Benedict might feel he's choosing reality when he is choosing Sophie over the fantasy Lady in Silver, but choosing still the option that doesn't require any actual risk from his side, that's kind of fantasy in itself, right? So looking at Benedict and his journey through rebellion and so on, finding himself and trusting himself and so on, the question kind of becomes, can you be yourself in a place that asks you to be something else without fumbling some feathers, without stepping on some toes? Or are you just playing, I'm choosing myself, but you never actually choose yourself? Well, we're going to see how the things pan out. And if you want to see how Sophie is going through the same things, but from her perspective, there is already a video ready. So, have fun.